one summer I was going around introducing myself as Jesus because I believed I was Jesus because I was having so many threesomes that summer. I'm like, who else but Jesus could have this many threesomes? Like I was so far up my own ass. I was like, I'm Jesus, and this is my mom. Meet my mom. Like pulling my girlfriend in. I fucked my mom. It's like Game of Thrones. They're like, what? Who are you? That's when you get that. Who the fuck are you guys? Come here, happy family. You know, like it's just on. Because it's so far up my own ass. Now, here's the thing with that. I had a student in Las Vegas recently, and he said, they keep asking me to buy them a drink. I'm like, are you doing it? He's like, yes. I'm like, what happens when you buy the drink? They leave. Don't do it. Okay, well, but what do I say if they say that? I'm like, well, first of all, you want to get to the point where your demeanor is such that they won't even ask you that because they're like, this ain't the one. If they ask me that, which they sometimes still will, and I'm like, do you know who the fuck I am? It's like, well, no, they don't. Nobody knows who the fuck. Nobody knows anything about you. They don't know shit about you. Tell you your history, what your personality is like, till you bring it to their ass. So I don't get like offended, but I'm like, oh, okay, really? I thought was giving off those vibes. Like, okay. But what I'll first say, I'll respond as though they said something so ludicrous to me, there's no way they're serious. Like I'll respond as though they told me, hey, go run through that plate glass window. Like, buy me a drink. Go run through that plate glass window. I'll be like, huh, yeah, that'd be crazy. Anyway, so da-da-da-da-da, did you, I'm like, wait, are you fucking serious? You're being serious. They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, that's interesting because I don't buy bitches drinks. But I'll tell you what, I'll get you a drink after you make out with me, if it's any good. Are you a good kisser? Scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate yourself? All right, let's see. Boom, make out. Like, no, I'm not good enough. And then just, but so I told this guy to say that. He's like, there's no fucking way. I can't say that. I'm like, bro, what you're currently doing isn't working. And then like later in the thread in the night, he's like, it's all caps. I did it. I said I don't buy bitches drinks. And now she made out with me. I was like, golf clap. You know, and it's funny too, because this same fellow, he had taken a couple programs previously to that. When I'm on these programs, my goal, I have 3 goals, okay? Goal number 1 is I want to inspire people that it's real. Because I think that when you see people who are highly experienced going out and doing this, you're like, oh, I thought I was playing the game and I realized I wasn't playing at all. I was doing some weird practice or some shit. Like these guys are actually living this lifestyle to an obnoxious degree and making it work. And you're like, so that's important. So it's not even being like, oh, these guys are so awesome. Being more like, they're not doing anything that I couldn't do right now, right? These aren't like superhuman people. These are regular people. Just they're doing certain things that I'm not, and they're doing it more consistently, right? And they also want to close. Because here's another thing. You can never rely on the other party's desire to close because they can change their mind at any time. Anything can happen. These interactions are like castles made of fucking sand. You can be talking to someone, and it seems like it's this incredible connection, so much in common, the friends love you, they're ready to go, and then you say one wrong little thing and it just disintegrates. Or they see someone that they know and then it just disintegrates. Or they go to the bathroom and then they come back and now it just feels different and now it just disintegrates. Like anything can happen. They're so tenuous. They're so ephemeral that they can just collapse immediately. So you can't rely on their desire to close. The constant you can always rely on is your desire to close. This is why you want to move things to the put up or shut up phase as soon as fucking possible. There's a theory called the fiddle theory, right? Which is this: the longer you fiddle around with something, the more likely it is to not work out. This is in anything in life, pretty much. Any business deal, any romantic encounter, the longer you fuck around, the more chances to fuck up. It's going great. Oh, wait. Wendy's puking. Gotta go. Wendy's puking. Drag out. Nothing to do with you. 2 guys get into a fight right next to you. Okay, got nothing to do with you. Oh, it feels weird now. The feeling has changed. Bye. You have to rely on your own desire to close. So again, number 1, I want to show people this shit's fucking real and normal guys can do it. Number 2, I want to give you, 1A, I want to give you absolute clarity as to what those steps are. Because remember, I said there's two axes. There's the vertical vibe that you must create that slices through the RAS and makes people look at you and keep fucking looking. If you cannot do that, you will not be able to execute. They won't pay attention to you long enough for you to execute your little horizontal fucking plot development. Say your little lines. They'll just leave. So you got to have that vibe, but then you got to move it forward. You must know what those steps are. So again, I want to give absolute clarity, and it ain't that fucking hard. And I'll tell you why. Because why? As the famous philosopher from the 20th century, Cyndi Lauper, said, girls just want to have fun. But not with some fucking loser. You know, some drunk idiot. I like your thing, hand on the lower back. Can I buy you a drink? Like that's who's approaching. And by the way, that's who's approaching. Normal people are not fucking approaching. Very few, very, very few. What do most people do? They go out with their peer group that they always go out with. Let's go out with Sarah. So what are we doing? Oh, Sarah and Pierre and Monica and Peter is going to come out. Oh, Andrew's going to come out too. Oh, and cousin Laura is from out of town, and she's going to be joining too. Oh, cousin Laura, the newcomer. And then they're all going to go out to the same place. They're all going to dance. Maybe you dance with cousin Laura from out of town, and then you all go home, and you just go out with the same fucking group every time and talk to no one else. That's what most people do. Most people are not approaching, or if they are, some are, very few. Most, they're like drunk or crazy people or catcallers or some bullshit. So a lot of times you see a student go up, and just by virtue of the fact that he's like clean, like literally like not dirty, and like could button his shirt correctly and can like string together a fucking subject and a predicate and like speak in a full sentence and isn't wasted. They're like, oh my God, approached by someone normal. And they'll be all excited. They'll be like, oh, excited. And then the guy won't move it forward at all. And then you'll see him go like, yeah, I go to school here. Yeah, I went to school here. Yeah. Yeah, and this is, my friend. Yeah. Oh, and I lived there. Yeah. And I work here. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Boring job. Bullshit. Nobody fucking cares about. Oh, yeah, cool. Well, hey, cool. Well, I was just catching up and da-da-da, but it was great to meet you. Have a good night. Nice to meet you. And that'll happen every fucking time. Because they're like, this guy's a time waster. This guy's wasting my fucking time. I thought it was going to go somewhere. Turns out, a fucking time waster. Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. And that will happen every single time unless you learn how to move it forward. So here's the thing. Many times, I bet you've all had this experience. You're standing in the, you're talking to somebody and you're like, it's going well. It seems like it's going well. What do I do next? I don't know. I hope it somehow resolves itself to my satisfaction by itself. It will not. It's not going to resolve itself to your satisfaction by itself. Magically, of its own accord, it just works out for you. They pull you out. Like, that's not going to happen. It's not how it works. It's just, sorry, as they say in Canada, sorry, it doesn't work that way. You have to move it. The onus is on you. The onus is on you. It's your responsibility. Now, you can sit here and bemoan that. Like, oh, it's so unfair that I have to take responsibility for moving it fucking forward. Too fucking bad. Have you tried crying more? I heard that helps. Sometimes. No, you got to be like, okay, the onus is on me. At least I have the agency. Think about it. On the other side, they don't even have the fucking agency. They just have to hope somebody comes up that's not a complete idiot. At least you can actually do something about it. And assume it's not going to close. Assume it's not, but assume you can. That's the big thing. That mentality of I maintain a positive outlook in the face of rejection because I assume, not even I assume, I have the maturity to acknowledge the reality that most deals do not close. I understand it's a fact, and I chalk it up to the game. And all I do is, did I do what I was supposed to be doing? Right? And I know what to do because I know. So again, I don't want anyone who comes on my program, and I know many of you here are on the program this weekend. By the end of this weekend, you will have absolute fucking clarity as to what those steps are. And you will never have that again where you're like, it's going good. What now? You'll be like, oh, I'm on step 3. I need to get to step 4. Okay, these are the actions I need to take. These are the behaviors I need to exhibit. Do that. Done. No more guesswork. Just execute. You just do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do. So this student I'm talking about in Vegas, he's like, is it going? I don't know what to do next. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because he's on 2 programs. Like, have you not been here? The previous 2 fucking programs, mate? Am I just saying these things? Am I just saying these things? And you're just like going, and just nodding and agreeing? And the guy's not stupid. He's like a finance bro in New York. He's like a smart guy. I'm like, you're not stupid. So why are you fucking asking me this shit? Just do what you're supposed to do. I told you what you're supposed to do, do that. Now, why isn't he doing it? He's bumping up against conditioning. He's bumping up against conditioning boundaries where it's like, I can't say that. I can't act like that. But guess what? He finally hit that tipping point of emotional leverage where he's like, what I've been doing isn't working. So I'm going to just do what the fuck he told me to do now. And lo and behold, what do you think happened that very night? You wouldn't want to hazard a crazy guess. He got laid. The second night, he did the same thing. He got laid again. And now he's like, oh, I just had to do what I was fucking supposed to do. That was it. Just do the damn thing. Look, this isn't rocket surgery. This isn't brain science, okay? Just do the damn thing. So that's another thing. Number one, I want it to be very clear for you, and I want it to be digestible. There's only like 8 steps. There's only 8 steps. Now, we can make this complicated. We can make it extremely complicated, or we can break it down and make it as easy as possible. Now, again, each of those 8 steps, you can get kind of fractal and down and dirty about like the intricacies of each one. But again, I want to be like you want a combination of, so I've been doing this for 20 years, right? So this curriculum that I've developed for the weekend, it's like someone comes in that program, I want it to be comprehensive, very comprehensive. Where like pretty much every eventuality that could pop up in an interaction, they'll have some answer for, but simultaneously digestible where over a weekend I can still present it all. And to an extent, they can take it in. Like a reasonably intelligent person can take it in. And that's if the intelligent person has the ability to slog through the initial pain period where he does not see result and get out of his own way. If he has the ability to do that, then eventually he'll get better. So that's something to bear in mind too, because many people are not capable of getting past that initial pain period where they don't see result. Like I talked about in the jujitsu example, how long is it going to take for me to not get my face grounded to the mat every time? 2 or 3 months? It's not going to happen immediately. There's going to be a concomitant period of you getting your ass handed to you. What does that look like here when you're going out and meeting people? Ignored. That's what's going to happen. Like people say, I'll get in a fight. No one cares about you that much. You're not that important to them. They're just going to ignore you. That's what's going to happen. They're not going to pay attention to you. They're going to ignore you. Or they're going to say, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. They're going to say something like that and then just turn away. That's generally what's going to happen. But yeah, a lot of people can't handle that. Because what's the big story? What's the big story about me? That's what they're going to say. You make it a big story about you and who you are and do people like me? Am I attractive? Am I going to reproduce? All this fucking shit. So that's literally what it is. A big story about who you are. When I go up there, it's not about that at all. It's just about execution. It's like, did I execute? I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for someone I have chemistry with, and I'm looking for someone who has good logistics. That's really what it is. That's all it is to me. It's an equation of like, do I have chemistry with the person? And do our logistics complement each other? Like, are there obstacles? Can I deal with these obstacles? Where am I in the steps? And what's the next step? That's literally it. And do I have chemistry? So again, on a program, it's like, number 1, inspire, show it's real, normal people can do it, and give you clarity on what the steps are. Number 2, push you beyond the condition, and this is very important, push you beyond the conditioned boundaries that are preventing you from taking the actions that would get you the results. And that can be something as simple as talking louder. Or in the case of this guy, I can't say this. This is outlandish. This is outrageous. This won't get a good reaction. Now, by the way, when you say something outrageous like that, when you say like an outrageous thing that, might upset somebody, why does that tend to work better? And again, not saying it all the time, but why does it tend to work better than walking the tightrope?
It wakes them up.
Yeah. What else? It's authentic.
And when something has integrity, it has more power.
That's true. Both of those things are true. Also, somebody who needs it to work wouldn't say that. So basically, it's highlighting how little of a fuck you give about the outcome. Because the most unattractive characteristic of all is what? Neediness. The second, the microsecond, they can tell you need it to work, or it's a big deal, or there's pressure, or if it works out, it'll be really good for you, and you really need it, want it to work really badly, like done. Absolutely done. They will lead you around by the nose and then fucking discard your ass. It's just done. Done. The second there's pressure or gravity or weight, it's not just this lighthearted, adventurous dream anymore. Done. Absolutely done.
3 biggest takeaways from this Charisma Mastery program. My life literally changed applying what I've learned and going through this process, I reached like a dating life abundance. I went from, scarcity mindset to like, I can't stop getting laid. And things happened to me that I never would have thought were possible. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. I also, have so much more awareness of everything now, like facial armoring in my face as I'm out and about, walking through my day, even talking to people. I can be a lot more aware of when I'm closed off with my voice or my face, realizing that, hey, I'm getting back into those monotone patterns, and I can become aware of it and make a change or a correction. Just being in this vibe, in this tribe, really enjoying the journey